Hi everyone, it's a great pleasure and we are very excited to be here and discuss with you today the topic which I think is probably one of the most exciting ones in the current days, which is artificial intelligence. And it's especially exciting to have Lihi with us. And I guess most of you are users of Alibaba or AliExpress, right? Raise your hands, those who are. It's a great tech giant. And Lihi is a professor for machine vision, and she also heads the Alibaba labs in Israel. And I think we'll start off with a very serious question, which I worked a lot about. Be prepared.
This is not working.
In the original story, Alibaba, there was Alibaba, and there were also the 40 thieves. Now we know what turned out of Alibaba, but we don't know what happened to the 40 thieves, and if they also opened an office in Tel Aviv. So maybe, Lee, can you share something about that?
Interesting. So Alibaba, do anyone knows why the name Alibaba, where it came from? Probably no. Well, people know what Alibaba is, or just AliExpress? You know. Okay, cool. So, so when Jack Ma founded Alibaba, he was the story is that he was in California and he was at a coffee place and he asked the waitress, "What do you think of Alibaba?" And she said, "Open sesame." And he said, "Okay, that's cool. That's what I want to do. I want to open doors. I want to make things accessible to everybody. I want to make consumers happy and enjoy and have enjoyable experiences when they do their shopping and they look for their needs." And this is the vision of Alibaba, and this is the way Alibaba thinks. And this is why Alibaba. And actually about thieves, it's an interesting story. If you look at the history of Alibaba, one of the biggest challenges was to win trust. How do you make people shop online, send money, get a product? It was all about trust. And being a company that you can trust is one of the biggest values of Alibaba.
Cool. Let's dive into the whole issue of artificial intelligence. And maybe we'll start with a crash course 101. What is artificial intelligence? Like really to an 8-year-old explanation. And what are the typical areas in which we experience artificial intelligence in our everyday lives, even if we don't know that that's what we're experiencing?
So that's a good question. So people talk about AI. And actually 20 years ago, I'm old enough to know that 20 years ago, if you said, "I'm doing AI," you were like totally a geek, and why do you do that? And the name AI has changed. Like, people like using AI, but what it means has changed over the years. The way we see today is AI, artificial intelligence, or as we call it, Alibaba inside. So artificial intelligence is trying to give machines intelligent capabilities. Are we there? We're far. Within AI, there is machine learning. And what is machine learning? So machine learning is the task of, or we can think of it as we try to teach machines to do certain tasks. Those tasks are tasks that people can define very well, usually mathematically, and they can provide the data to support it. So we teach the machine to do a specific task based on data and a definition that was made by people. And what we're doing today is machine learning, and even that, we're just doing part of it. Under machine learning, there's a certain type of method called deep learning. And this is what we know right now a little bit how to make work.
And for the examples of where we encounter it in everyday life?
Anyone has a phone? How do you open your phone? With your finger? That's AI. They're using Waze. I don't know what Waze is doing, but I'm sure they're using AI. Any autonomous driving is using AI. Anything you're doing on your phone is doing AI. When you call the customer service center, certainly in China, an AI bot replies to you and talks to you. You wouldn't even know it. So we're using it everywhere in everything we're doing.
Advertising?
Sorry?
In advertising, in targeted
I'm
offerings?
pretty sure that's the case, yes. So everything that is personalized to you has AI inside.
Ray Kurzweil, in his book, he's a futurist and a scientist, and he said or predicted that by year 2029, machine intelligence will surpass human intelligence. Now that may be true or maybe not, but we as humans, as mankind, have always been obsessed with these robots taking over, starting from Frankenstein and the Terminator and the Matrix and a whole bunch of things. Is this going to happen? Are machines going to be smarter or more intelligent? Will they understand emotions? Will they feel emotions? And if they do, what kind of world is it going to be for us as humans?
So this is a question that everybody is preoccupied with. And the good thing that we are busy with this question is that what we're seeing now is that we have people like Ray Kurzweil that are futurists, philosophers are very cool now, they're very useful. So we place together philosophers, technology people like me, regulators, humanists, psychologists. We all have to sit together and think about those questions. Now, foreseeing the future, that's not something I know how to do. I can tell you where we are at. I can tell you how much we explain of the technology. We are far from those things, from real human capabilities for machines. There are several tasks in which, yes, technology is better than us. But somehow, when we're thinking about AI, we're very concerned. Like if I tell you, my phone recognizes my face, it sounds scary for some reason. But if I tell you, your car can drive you, you say, cool, I don't need to drive. And you don't care. There's so much AI there. Now, those cars, they need to recognize people, they need to recognize roads, they need to know you. And if you're tired, they need to make sure you're not angry. There's so much AI and you're happy about it. So our fears are not, it's something personal. Can you teach machine about fear?
I guess that if you connect some sensors to a human brain, you will be able to identify what fear or happiness looks like. And if you can analyze that, perhaps you can emulate it or cause it to happen or cause a machine to understand what happiness is or what love is. Does this make sense?
I don't know.
Okay.
So we'll see. Time will tell. But today where we're at is what we know how to do is we know how to define tasks by data. Much simpler tasks actually than emotions. So we can, for example, like one thing we're doing here in Alibaba Israel is augmented reality, which is totally cool. So I want to buy some furniture, for example, to my home, and I'm very bad at it. I have no sense of taste. No, I'm a mechanical engineer, professor from the Technion. I have no clue how to design my house. Totally not my territory. And I can now have my phone show me how this chair or this table would look at my home. Totally cool. So much fun. I'm not scared of it. I can see how it makes my life better, and I want to use it. Very simple.
Okay. When we teach machines to learn and do things, and they start to invent things on their own, so to speak, like, for example, in the case of two chatbots, 2 years ago, two chatbots AI-based in Facebook started to chat with one another. They kind of invented their own language, and I can quote to you, one of them was called Bob, and he said, I can, I, everything else, and Alice responded by saying, balls have zero to me. And they understood what they said. The question
How do you know?
I guess so, because they started to communicate with one another and reacted. Do you think they had...
Questions and answers doesn't mean they were communicating and understanding.
Yeah.
Understanding has a deeper meaning. people are also not always excellent at that. But the things that we can think of is what can we do with AI that is good? What can we do with AI that is for the betterment of humanity? And this is what we try at Alibaba to think of. And if I can build a chatbot that will give you much better service, then it's a good purpose for me. If I can build AI that will improve your health, give you better life, that's good for me. And actually, we're also thinking about democratizing AI. So what does this mean? So we want everybody to be able to use AI, but not just on your phones or as an app, but also maybe to develop AI. So for example, if you're a farmer and you want to raise melons and you want to be able to improve your sales or have better analysis of whether you need to give your melons more water or less water, maybe AI could help you. And I want the rural farmer somewhere at the north of Israel or north of China to be able to have access to that. Now today, you really need high professionals to use AI. You need PhD level people, and it's not accessible to everybody. Even big giants suffer from lack of professionals. And this is something we try to tackle, and we're developing technologies that will make it more possible to develop and use and deploy AI.
There is a notion among AI theorists that it's one thing taking data such as usage behavior, watching clips, watching advertising, but it's a totally different thing when it's crossing the skin barrier. Meaning when machines really read our physiology, our biology. And I think that Yuval Noah Harari in Stanford made a comment which was, when I heard it, this was very moving to me. He said that he realized that he was gay at the age when he was 20. But he said that all the signs were there way earlier, and a very stupid AI machine would have known that probably before he knew it. And what would be the consequences of machines knowing more about us than we know? Can this be exploited? Can manipulation happen there? Is this scary? How do we protect ourselves against that?
These are good questions, and it's good that people very smart, like Yuval Noah Harari, would think about it.
And?
I think the important thing for us as human beings is first the technologist and the humanist and the philosopher, we should think about it together. And these are, for me, exciting times because we're looking into the future, we're thinking about the future, we're trying to resolve challenges. Things are moving very, very fast. And for me, being part of this process of changing the world, that's super exciting. And being part of it and trying to make my own contribution, maybe we need to think about education. So what are the things that we as human beings are better at? Like, computers are better at playing chess. Okay, let them play chess. Or if you want to enjoy a game, play with your friends. Don't play with the computer. The computer will do it better. It's not fun anymore. So it's not a game. So you miss the purpose. So let's try to think about the things that are human, that make us human. Right now, creativity, art, feelings, love. These are things that are very, very human, and we should be maybe focusing on that.
Are you doing any of those in the Israeli labs of Alibaba?
So what we're doing here, we have an R&D center here in Tel Aviv. We are not really related to AliExpress, although the AliExpress representatives come often and take care of that aspect. But the R&D center is doing two things. We are doing augmented reality, and we're doing projects for democratizing AI. And certainly this is part of our thinking. If we come to a country like Israel, we want to have with us on our team people that want to do meaningful things, people that want to be part of this changing world, and people that want to make AI accessible, make equal opportunities. And this is the mission of Alibaba, is to make business accessible to everyone. And we are part of the research institute of Alibaba, which is called DAMO. And we are there. Our mission is to do research for profit and fun. And this is exactly what we're doing. So we're doing fun things. We're developing AI, but we try to do it for the good. And actually, Alibaba just had its birthday, 20 years anniversary for Alibaba, and it was an amazing party. I was lucky to be there. And we revived our vision a little bit. So the vision for Alibaba has always been to live 102 years. And 102 years because Alibaba was founded in 1999, and we wanted to last for 3 centuries. But now we also added that we want to be a company that does good. It's not about money. It's not about power. It's about bringing good to the world. And this is our vision, and definitely this is what we're doing in Tel Aviv.
Very cool. What about some word of advice for those of us who are maybe concerned about what this great technology poses for the future?
Do something.
What do you recommend your kids to do?
My kids? Well, I think we talked about it before. My kids don't listen to me. I have 3 boys. They're independent thinkers, and I can't get them to do anything, not even pick up a t-shirt from the floor. But I can do things by setting an example. I love doing what I'm doing. I think that we should use AI for good things, so this is what I'm doing. I joined a company that I think is doing good in general. I come happy to work every morning, and this is what I do, and this is how I spread the good. And this is how I find it exciting and interesting, and there's so much to read and learn every day about it. And I think usually when you know things better, they're less scary. And you find a way what to do.
Professions, which are more likely to be in demand, which are not?
Well, in Israel or around the world?
In Israel, around the world.
Like, we're making predictions. I think right now the status in Israel, the high-tech scene is very, very successful. We're doing well.
Good. Any final words of thoughts or something that, as somebody who deals with this very extremely interesting topic, wants to share with us?
The only thing I would say is just if it scares you, go learn about it. Try to see really what it does, what it can do, and then join it and make an impact, make a change. If we don't do it, then nobody will do it. So it has to be something that everybody does together. It won't be just the regulator or the teacher or the philosopher or the technologist. We as people have to rise to the occasion and make the change. And I'm participating, and I think you are too.
Trying to. Thank you very much, Lee. If any questions in the audience, I don't know if this is... Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Great being
Ariel.
here.
Thank you very
Thank you, Lee.
much.